What's up, everybody? This is Dylan. That's Justin. ManToManFootball here. Avid Longhorn fan, avid Cowboy fan, both avid football fans. Let's get it.
What is going on, everybody? Dylan, we are talking Deshaun Watson. Now, Deshaun Watson is kind of in a weird situation. He's kind of come out after the season's been over and kind of the biggest drama story, really, going out of the NFL right now. Other than the playoffs, Deshaun has kind of came out and said to people that he does not want to play for the Houston Texans again. And he's also apparently not returning their phone calls. I think Houston is kind of trying to make this right with him. But we're going to kind of talk about what would be a great landing spot for Deshaun Watson. So Dylan, my top landing spot for Deshaun Watson, and I'm talking, I'm not saying it's a realistic spot. I'm just saying in general, I think a top spot for him to be would be with the Colts. The Indianapolis
Okay.
Colts, are in need of a quarterback. I think Phillip Rivers is probably not going to be there for the next year. I think he is walking, possibly retiring. I think they are in dire need of a quarterback, and Deshaun Watson is a top 5, top 10 quarterback in this league, no doubt. Nobody can question his heart, his athleticism, his arm, everything. I think that with the run game that they have over there, the offensive line, he will have an offensive line to protect him. The defense is good. I think the Colts kind of got. The Colts should have been a playoff team this year. I think they could have been a. How do you say it? I think the Colts could have made a run in the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, if they had a good, athletic, Deshaun Watson style quarterback.
Sure.
So you can kind of change the game with Jonathan Taylor out there. They love to run the ball, and once you have a run game around a good quarterback, you can do a lot of things. I think the Colts is kind of my favorite spot for him. I don't know how honest and true that will happen. Dylan, what do you think about when you think of Deshaun Watson and where he could fit?
Yeah, and I like the Colts there too. I think there's another team out there that is a complete team that is kind of a quarterback away from being, truly elite. I look at the 49ers as I would love for the 49ers to get Deshaun Watson. Everything they do as far as the run game, the play action off of it. You talk about a guy who can roll out, can kind of get on the edge of a defense. The accuracy, the deep ball, everything that he brings, I think would be perfect for Kyle Shanahan. The young wide receivers they have there, George Kittle stretching the field, all those things. I think, kind of the defense, everything you were talking about with the Colts, the offensive line. It's a complete team that's lacking the quarterback, and I think, if he goes to either of those teams, honestly, I think that those teams, skyrocket up, the power rankings or Super Bowl odds, things like that. I would love to see him be a 49er.
All right. Well, that moves me into the last thing here. Deshaun Watson is rumored to be being pressed. Well, not really Deshaun Watson, but the Houston Texans are really being pressed by the Jets to possibly trade for Deshaun Watson. Do you think that's a good idea? I think the Jets is kind of a tough and kind of a horrible landing spot. But that is just me, simply for the fact of is Adam, they're in a better situation than Houston. Houston's going to be recovering from this Bill O'Brien tank for the next 3-4 years. I do think, however, the Jets are in a better position, but I think have a long way to go when it comes to talent.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if Deshaun Watson would enjoy being a Jet more than
Yeah.
he would a Houston Texan.
If we're talking kind of, that, and also kind of another perspective is like, how can the Texans get a good amount back? I think if the Miami Dolphins would be another kind of good landing spot. I know they kind of have Tua there and everything, and maybe there can be some swap there. But I think it would be kind of funny if the Texans were able to get some of those first round draft picks back by trading Watson to Miami, and get some of those first and second rounders back that they gave away. Appreciate y'all watching the video this far. If y'all wouldn't mind, throw a like, throw a subscribe, comment down below, tell Justin how cute he is. a young team building, trending in the right direction. You add Deshaun Watson. We both think Tua can be good, but we
Yeah.
also know that Deshaun Watson is great, and right now doesn't have a whole lot around him as a Houston Texan. Um, I think he could definitely thrive as a Miami Dolphin.
Yeah, he also doesn't have a lot to look forward to as a
Right,
Texan. You
right,
know, they have a third round pick this year. That is basically, I think they have 5 picks this draft, and
right,
they're all on day 3,
right.
which is abysmal as a
Yeah,
franchise,
yeah,
especially a franchise that isn't winning. You know, if you were the Chiefs in this situation, you'd be fine because you're like, hey, buddy, we're going to Super Bowls back to back to back to back to back to back to back. It doesn't matter.
hmm,
But when you're a Deshaun Watson superstar trying to literally putting an entire team on his back, and your coach is just throwing your receivers to other teams for
sure,
nothing.
sure.
I mean, I can understand how he's upset. You know, the GM situation with not being hired, and they asked him to be a part of it, and then they're just kind of like, oh yeah, thanks for the suggestion, and then never talked to him again, and just hired a different guy. Didn't even bring in his guy.
Right.
So like, I can see how you feel in being ignored as a Texan. I just don't. I wonder if
Well, let me ask you real quick. Do you think it's salvageable at all? Is there something here where the Texans are like, hey, look, we're gonna bring in this offensive minded head coach. He's gonna propel your career. All these things are gonna be lined up with this guy. Do you think there's anything there where the Texans are kind of hoping like man, we bring in some guys here, maybe we can kind of almost like recruit our franchise quarterback back?
I could see it happening, but I don't really think Deshaun's issue is with the GM or with his coaches. I think his issue is with the owner.
Okay.
And you know, that kind of stems a little bit higher than what most people would say is reasonable, but if your owner comes and talks to you and says, "Hey, we want you to be involved," you know, almost like an Aaron Rodgers, almost like a Pat Mahomes is like, "Hey, buddy, who do you want us to draft for you? Like, what do
Right.
you want?
Right.
You are our future. What do you want?" And it's like, "Hey, I want this guy." And they're just like, "Oh, okay." And then they just completely, land over here instead of right here where you wanted. Obviously they don't give two craps about what you just said. So you
Right.
kind of feel shunned, kind of out of the loop. I think Deshaun is just kind of feeling like that from his owner. I don't know if it's salvageable. I don't know if the owner has enough, how do you say, will and guts to be like, hey, Deshaun, my bad, I'm wrong.
Right.
He's already a millionaire. He probably doesn't care. So
Oh well, he probably cares
I
because
don't I don't think he cares that
I mean,
much
it's
to ignore
nah,
his quarterback like that. You might not care. I think if you don't care what your quarterback thinks already, and he's your future, right?
right,
Why do you ignore his opinion, which you know kind of puts him on the other side of the fence? Now you're trying to get this guy to be on your team, and now you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm listening to you. Okay, and then just kind of doing whatever you want. That makes you feel worthless. So why would you want to play for that guy? That's kind of
sure,
my thing.
yeah, no, I totally agree. And I mean, obviously, the lack of trust there, the lack of future there for the Texans, they almost it's kind of weird. Like they would almost have a better future if they traded Watson away and got a buffet of picks back.
They would
So
have
when
to.
yeah, when you're the franchise quarterback, man, I mean, it's tough. It's unfortunate for the Texans and Texans fans and all that because that's truly the piece you can build around. I mean, everybody, the franchise quarterback is everything. I mean, it's what you draft for. It's why all these quarterbacks go high in the first round. It's literally the only thing you need.
Yeah,
Um,
Bill would have traded him for 2 second rounders this week. So
would have dumped him for a bag of chips or something.
yeah, yeah. It's like, hey, you know, that fullback's looking real good in 49ers. You want him?
Yeah. What's that
I'll
guy's name? That
straight up.
that dude is a beast.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that fullback. Yeah.
Jutex. I can't remember his name. He's got a weird name, Juteski, something like that.
Yeah, that was close. That was close.
200 pounds of muscle running. But yeah, I think Deshaun is kind of in a weird spot, man. I hope that from as a fan of Deshaun Watson, I hope he can kind of get out.
Right.
Just because the Texans next couple years drafting look ugly.
Right.
And unless they hit on every single one, which we know is not the case, um, they're gonna be in the hole for at least 3-4 more years, and that's
Yeah.
kind of a waste of Deshaun Watson, which is sad to
Absolutely.
say. So
Absolutely.
I think you
And
kind of
he's a young quarterback, man. He needs to go to a team that's going to respect him, build around him, and has weapons. And even guys like J.J. Watt. I mean, I guarantee he's not re-signing with the Texans.
yeah, he's getting
Right?
cut.
He'll be a
I'm
free
pretty
agent
sure
and
he's getting
everything.
cut. Yeah,
Yeah.
or released. I don't know if you want to say
Or does
cut.
he have more years? Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on there, but
Yeah, he has more
um,
years on his contract, but there's rumors they're already going to release him just because his contract. They're going to say if they cut him if they release him this offseason,
mhm.
they save like 20 million or something
Oh
ridiculous,
yeah.
15 million.
Hey,
So
might as well while you're rebuilding.
yeah, Deshaun Watson, man, we wish you the best.
For sure.
Good luck in Houston, because right now y'all do not look pretty. But
Excited to see where he ends up. I think we both agree that
yeah.
he should try to do everything he can to get out of Houston. So obviously, excited to see what team he lands on, because that team will instantly be better.
Yeah, drastically.
Appreciate y'all checking out the channel, checking out the video. Man to Man Football here. Y'all stay tuned for more.